Singapore's new parliament got into full swing today with the start of the debate on the president's address, which had laid out the government's priorities. Day one saw a wide range of issues covered, including calls for policies on housing and healthcare to be reviewed.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
Kicking off the motion to thank the President MP for Sengkang West, Dr. Lam Pin Min, said the general election was a watershed event in Singapore's political history. He said the political landscape is being dramatically altered with the internet and social media. On healthcare, Dr. Lam said the funding framework needed to be reviewed to help Singaporeans cope with rising medical costs.
It is worthwhile to think about how we can help the lower and middle income groups by increasing the quantum of subsidy for them. There is also a need to re-examine the rules governing the use of Medisave. Many Singaporeans feel that it is too restrictive, and very often there may be sufficient amount of Medisave savings, but the rules do not allow its use in many instances.
On housing, there were calls to review the pricing formula for HDB flats. Opposition MP Sylvia Lim pointed to studies which suggested that housing affordability could be linked to the country's low total fertility rate. She asked if it's time to focus on happiness as a national goal, as Singapore has supported Bhutan's proposal at the UN regarding the idea of happiness as the goal of development.
Will government policies from now on be framed to focus on whether they lead to happiness and contentment for Singaporeans as a whole? Will we be coming up with our own national index of happiness and well-being?
Several members responded on the issue.
I think the opposition member couldn't have chosen a more dissimilar country to compare Singapore with. We are exposed to the seas, exposed to the onslaught of competition from the world. We were dealt a different deck of cards, a different hand altogether when we were independent, and we must find our own formula forward.
Others suggested that the government will need to redouble its efforts to demonstrate the humane side of economic growth policies. There were also concerns that some elderly Singaporeans are asset-rich but cash-poor, so retirement policies related to the Central Provident Fund must be relooked. Mr. Hari Kumar urged for a different program to help older Singaporeans unlock the value of their HDB flats.
Can we not allow Singaporeans to sell back portions of their lease to HDB at market value? A 70-year-old couple does not need a 50 or 60-year-old lease. If they can sell part of the lease back to HDB, say in parcels of 5 or 10 years, that would give them a decent sum.
There were also calls for the government to review the presidential election process before the next polls due in 2017.
And of course, several new MPs from both the ruling party and opposition delivered their maiden speeches in the House, as Ramesh has this report.
It has been 6 months since the general election, and it was an opportune moment for MPs like Mr. Vikram Nair to share what constituents felt about government policies and the ruling party.
While I received a warm reception from many, there were also those who told me quite openly they did not support my party. That was because they felt that our party no longer cared for ordinary Singaporeans.
This led MP for Moulmein Kallang GRC Edwin Tong to emphasize that while there should be deeper and broader engagement, that doesn't mean bowing to all demands and being populist.
I therefore urge Singaporeans to meet the government halfway. They need to be rational and practical as to the limits within which the ideals are pushed. It would be irresponsible to expect the government to embark on popular policies which might well have short-term gains and political mileage, but which have longer-term adverse consequences for Singapore.
Among the new opposition MPs who spoke today was Mr. Muhammad Faisal from the Workers' Party. He called on the government to do more to address problem gambling.
If a part of our society is suffering, the nation as a whole will suffer along. I urge MCYS to do more to build a cohesive and resilient society in a slowing economy. I also urge the Ministry to help individuals and families at risk so that their lives will not be destroyed by the roll of a dice or a flip of a card.
On the first day of debate, 7 of 18 members of parliament who spoke were new MPs. The House is adjourned till tomorrow.
Earlier, Mr. Seah Kian Peng and Mr. Charles Chong were elected Deputy Speakers of Parliament. Their nominations were proposed by Ms. Indrani Raja.
With their experience, I believe that they would make good deputies in discharging their duties.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's my pleasure to support the nominations. There being no other proposals, I declare Mr. Charles Chong and Mr. Seah Kian Peng to have been duly elected as Deputy Speakers of this Parliament.
Mr. Seah, an MP for Marine Parade GRC, was elected to Parliament in 2006. Last year, he moved a private member's bill that led to significant amendments to the Maintenance of Parents Act. Mr. Chong, MP for Joo Chiat, was elected to Parliament in 1988. He has led several government parliamentary committees.